Hello stamping friends, welcome back to the second video in the June online card class. Look at this fun card. Oh, I can't wait to show you. So as you know, you receive the PDF instructions when you're a card member or a club member. And this is the stamp set that we're using. We're using Sprinkles of Life, which is the Ronald McDonald house this year. The pieces that you receive in for this card, or the pieces that you're going to need, is the Tip Top Taupe card base, a piece of shimmery white cardstock. Now, I really hope that you can see this on the video, but I don't know. It's really hard, but it's got some shimmer to it. It's a heavier cardstock than the Whisper White, and it's going to be perfect for the technique that we're doing. You'll receive a piece of square Whisper White that I've already run through the embossing folder, and this is the decorative dots. Then you'll have a green piece of cardstock that is the Cucumber Crush. You'll have a scrap of pink Pirouette. Yours may not be this size. And then you're going to have a scallop cutout of the Watermelon Wonder. And of course you get your envelope, okay? All right, so let's get started. All right, so this is the decorative dot folder that I use. I was just trying to remind myself to show you what I was using. And the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take an aqua painter. So I hope you have one of these on hand, because this is such a cool way to do some watercoloring. It's got, you put the water in the little barrel and you kind of squeeze it out a bit, but it's much better than using a paintbrush and water and all that kind of stuff. So you have more control. I'm going to use pink Pirouette stamp pad, and while I have it closed, I'm going to go ahead and give it a good squeeze in the middle. Now, brand X stamp pads, I wouldn't do this to, because it might crack their case, okay? But the Stampin' Up! Pads will allow you to do that. So then I have a little bit of ink in there that I can use for my watercoloring. So first though, I'm going to go ahead and close that up for right now, because I want to take the stamp that kind of looks like a cloud, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and ink that up. And again, just like on the first card, I'm going to stamp closer to the bottom of my cardstock piece. And then I'm going to open this up. I do have a paper towel here to help me with my mess, because I'm sure I'll make a mess. So you want to take the aqua painter and just kind of squeeze the bulb so that you have some water. You want that brush wet. And then I'm going to pick up some ink over here, and I'm just going to give it a watercolor wash. Oops. I know that you can't see it on the video, but doing it with the shimmer paper gives it such a pretty sheen, okay? I'm going to go ahead and wipe off my brush, because I am going to be using this again, and I want to make sure that it's good and clean for the next piece. So I'm going to go ahead and close this back up, and I'm going to set that aside. I want this to dry a little bit before I punch it out, okay? So the other thing I'm going to take is the basket piece that's in the stamp set, and I'm going to use Delightful Dijon. Love saying that, okay? And I'm going to go ahead, and to save paper, I'm going to come over here. Okay. And I've already done a little bit of squeezing. You can see my ink from before. However, I want some fresh ink in there. Okay. Take my aqua painter. My brush is still wet, so I don't have to squeeze the bulb, but I'm going to go ahead and I am going to squeeze and get this more watered down. I want a lighter color with my watercoloring here, so see how I've done, okay? And then I'm going to come back and just color in my basket. You don't have to make it perfect, just kind of give it a little bit of touch here and there. Clean off my brush. And that is done. How fast was that? All right, so I'm sure that my cloud, it's pretty much dry. I'm going to take my punch And I'm going to punch out the cloud. Actually, I keep calling it a cloud. It is the cupcake top. Okay. Now, there's no punch with the basket. You're just going to have to cut it out. But this is probably the easiest thing to cut out that you will ever do. It's not really called fussy cutting. Fussy cutting is when you have to be all nice and perfect and go around and all that. But this is pretty simple to do. Pretty much straight lines. Maybe a little curve of a line there. And then I'm okay with the top being like that because I'm going to be covering it up. All right, so I have that done. I'm going to go ahead and stamp my sprinkles. And that's a little sprinkle stamp that's in your stamp set. So we want some sprinkles. Whoops. Let's see. I think I need a darker ink. What did I use? Yep, you can't see it. Let me grab it. You want a darker pink to really pop those sprinkles up. There we go. I'm using Melon Mambo just to kind of give it some sprinkles. I do like the two-tone shading though that turned out. You know, if I'm going to mess it up, I'm going to do it on a video. And I feel like if I mess it up, it's okay because then that shows you I'm just not so perfect. Okay, so let's go ahead and put our pieces together. We've got our green base, and what do we like to use? We like to use the multi-purpose glue. Put our card together. Okay, and we're going to use, of course, some dimensionals on the back of our pieces. And our little, okay, let's see, here we go. I'm talking to myself, don't interrupt, just kidding. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put this piece on, and I'm going to use some dimensionals for that. And I'm just going to put 3 on. Okay, put that in the center, and then we're going to put our cupcake pieces on, or our cupcake bottom. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put that about right there. Now, I have my cupcake top, my icing, and it's going to be about right there. I'm not quite ready to put that on yet because I need to put the candles on. Now, let me just kind of warn you about the candles. And you decide when you're stamping yours and putting yours together how you want to do it. But I'm going to hold these up and see if you can see. I went in, oh, it's not focusing. I went in and trimmed around really close to the candle. Then on these two I did not because I pre-stamped all these before I started the video. I pre-cut them all out. I picked up 2 of them and I had cut off the candle flame. So you decide how close you want to get. I think those look just fine. What about you? Okay, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of snail back here so that it will hold my candles. That should be green. You can stamp your candles any color you want. But I'm using the in colors that are brand new, that are just so cool. Love them. And so I'm done. Okay, so now we have that. Now I can take the backing off and add this to my cupcake bottom. All right, the only other thing we have to do now is we're going to take our pink pirouette, and we're using Memento black ink, and I'm going to stamp the words. And again, I'm going to do a little bit of a banner, so I'm going to stamp right there. Whoa, got some black on my finger. Okay, so I used Memento black ink because I have photopolymer stamps, and I don't want my stamps to stain. If you're okay with them staining, you could use StazOn, but I would recommend the black Memento ink. All right, so now I'm going to stamp Happy Birthday really close. So did you see what I did? I stamped, cut that piece off. Now I've got a perfect line because that way I've already got my bottom and I don't have to worry about it. So then I'm going to come in here and just cut really close. Okay. And then we're going to make our little banner again like we like to do. It's a little bit long. Okay. All right. Cover up our ink. Okay. So now we're ready to come in and stick our banner in behind this. And I want to go ahead and trim that off just a little bit more. Yep. I like that. Oh, that needs to be trimmed for sure. We're going to come in about like that. And that looks good. Okay, so I'm going to use some Tombow glue, some liquid glue, because I'm sticking it on the dimensional, the 3D type cardstock that I've embossed. And then a little bit on here. I could have used glue dots if I wanted to, but I decided to use this. All right, so you'll notice that this is hanging off, okay? So we're still going to attach it to our card base. But I'm going to show you something. Just you wait. All right, so we have that, so it's hanging off. Okay, well, this is a smaller size card. This is a card that will still fit just fine in a regular envelope, if I can get it opened. Like that. See? How cute, right? Okay, thanks for stopping by, and we'll catch you on the next video.